Hi everybody, welcome to Goshen Prepping. I love going through articles, seeing things we can learn, and I came across this article that was very interesting to me. I want to show you this. 12 items worth stockpiling for a doomsday scenario. And going through it, some items are good and some items are simply not good. But it's good to critique this and be able to be better preppers ourselves. So let's go through the article and see what we need to prep. Number 1, bottled water. Hydration is crucial, especially in emergencies. You want to have clean, safe water. And remember, the human body can only survive for about 3 days without water. So true, we have to have water to survive. However, I would not suggest getting water bottles. I'm not saying don't have some for like just a short-term emergency, maybe like a winter storm, you lost power for a couple of days, yeah, that's good. But instead, I recommend getting one of the giant 55-gallon drums that makes it to hold water for a long period of time. A gallon per person per day. And if we're talking about crapping in the fan, you want to have much more stockpiles than simply just a couple of days worth of bottled water. I'll put a link below, by the way, for these giant drums you can get from Amazon. In my opinion, they're worth their weight in gold. And I would look at it, even though it's 55 gallons, that's pretty much, in my opinion, enough water for 1 month. They say 1 gallon per person per day, 55 gallons. But honestly, 1 gallon per person per day is really a bare minimum. 55 gallons will be, practically speaking, a month's supply for you. Number 2, canned food. Long shelf life, easy to store, no refrigeration needed, and the variety is endless. And some are ready to eat right out of the can. Now they're talking, oh yes, canned food is the way to go. And as long as the can's not ruptured or broken, that type of thing, then it'll actually last indefinitely. I'm always about canned food. So far with this one, yeah, right on. A first aid kit, bandages, antiseptic wipes, tweezers, medical tape, pain relievers, etc., including phone numbers, all those things. Yep, and again, right on. However, they recommend a very basic one with Band-Aids. You probably already have Band-Aids in your house, am I right? Having a more sophisticated kit with lots of stuff, and of course, we've talked about other medical things that you should keep as well. I'll put a link below for a medical kit that I went through of all that stuff I have here, stuff you might want to consider. And in addition, below, you can actually purchase a medical checklist of things you might want to pick up. It goes right to our website, and it's like $2, I think it is. A multi-tool or Swiss Army knife includes a knife, screwdriver, can opener, etc. Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any means. Personally, although I like Swiss Army knives, they're just fun. As a kid, I had one. I like multi-tools too. But again, you probably have a screwdriver in your house. You probably have a can opener, obviously, have a can opener. Personally, I think you should buy some kind of either fixed blade knife or a simple knife that can actually help thwart off an attacker. In my opinion, that would work better. I'll put a link below for one of those too. In fact, I'll have a video coming up very shortly about some knives that you might actually possibly want to carry with you at all times, or at least have with you for defenses. Flashlights and batteries. And I don't need to go through their article on that one. Obviously, flashlights and batteries. But I want to add on to it. Consider having some alternate power flashlights too. Having some with batteries you can quickly turn on, good. But having some crank ones, we have some of those. I'll put them in the comment or links below as well. Or even better, have ones that's like 2,500 lumens. Or sorry, 250,000 lumens. This guy's amazing. But the best thing about it? It is rechargeable. Bah, huge. Now, this is a great flashlight. Has tactical, so you can bonk somebody on the head with if you want to, but being rechargeable by USB if you have a solar generator or some kind of power bank, that way you don't have to keep looking for batteries, and if crap hits the fan, that's a huge thing. A portable radio, oh yes, so important. Now there's different types of portable radios. I don't think they meant things like a walkie-talkie. We have these, so that way we can talk to each other throughout our property, but it actually has the weather on there too. What I recommend for crap hits the fan is a solar crank radio. I'll put a link below. We have a few of these things and they work really well, rechargeable. They can even charge your phone too. You want to have news coming in from the outside world so you know exactly what's going on. Personal hygiene items, soap, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrush, etc. Sanitary products, hand sanitizer, yeah. And sorry for my sarcasm, hand sanitizer, in my opinion as a doctor, is practically worthless. I don't use this stuff. But all this other stuff too. You want to be able to smell nice and keep your hygiene going. And there's a lot of old school methods you can do in that. Research it. Maybe I can make a video about some of that stuff later. Like as far as even just keeping your armpits nice and fresh, there's lots of things you do without simply just using deodorant. But obviously stock up on what you like to use best to be able to, keep your hygiene going when crap hits the fan. Prescription medications. It's vital to have an adequate supply on hand. And I'm even going to add over-the-counter drugs too. Having things like that for pain medication is obviously a good idea, but obviously the prescription ones can be vital. You want to make sure you have this. Sometimes depending on the drug, if you talk to your doctor, they'll let you get a supply that's larger than normal so you can stockpile a few. We also have done things for Jace Medical too, by the way. There's a link below, you can pick one up. It can't be done by prescription, unfortunately, because, prescription, you can get antibiotics for probably with your plan, maybe for free. But with Jace Medical, you have to pay for the drugs, the antibiotics, which can be more expensive. But do what you can to have your prescription medications. I would add to it too. Probably prescription eyeglasses also. Having an extra pair would be really good in case crap hits the fan. Essential documents: passports, IDs, birth certificates, etc., and keep them in a waterproof and fireproof container. Yes, for sure. Obviously, your important documents. And two things about that. Number one, again, in the links below, you can go to our website. Instead of just buying $2 for the medical kit, you can pay $12 for our full pack. And the full pack has included in there also documents you might want to keep on hand. Not to mention things to fill out so you can keep track of bills and things like that too. Now, also linked below is a fireproof, waterproof bag. You might want to pick those up so you can put your documents in. Always keep it in there. That way, if you need to get out quickly, you can grab it with you in case you're evacuated for whatever reason. 10, cash and coins. Yes, absolutely. I certainly recommend, maybe a couple $100 to keep on hand in lower denomination bills. Nothing bigger than 20s, by the way. And have it so there's an emergency in case of evacuation because, credit card machines and everything may be down. If we're talking about long term, you need to have bartering items. And one of the things I do, we're actually sponsored by Alpine Gold and Goldbacks. I now have a Goldback wallet to keep them all in here. I'll talk more about this in Goldbacks later. But that way you can actually carry gold with you at denomination levels so people can use it for spending. Really neat stuff. But either way, have some kind of expendable currency that you can use in case you get yourself into a jam. 11, warm clothing and blankets. Yep, huge right there. As winter's approaching, I talk about all the time. And not even just going out, but in your house, have a tent with a nice warm sleeping bag and put it in your living room in case you lose power and lose heat and electricity for a few days. It can do your best to help you keep warm, not to mention a buddy heater, which I'll link that as well. Obviously, having all these things stocked up on this stuff, especially with Black Friday coming, is a good thing to get now so you can get it more at a discount price and be ready. And finally, 12, seeds for gardening. And I would certainly recommend getting seeds as well. This is certainly a long-term thing, though, isn't it? We're talking about serious crap hits the fan. It's funny how the article, the slideshow wasn't bad. It gave a lot of good things at the very beginning, water bottles, but then now we talk about seeds for gardening. That's like very long-term. And I always say, get seeds that are for your area. We're in Michigan. We use like Emma Gardner seeds. Buying seeds from the South may not grow very well up here and vice versa. And then also buy things you want to eat. Don't buy a whole bunch of seeds that, you're going to, whatever it is, I'm not going to eat that. Maybe you can trade it, but if you don't eat it, somebody else might not eat it either. So what would you add to the list? Not a bad article, but I'm sure there's some things you would add to this too that you want to keep on hand in case crap hits the fan. And put them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.